Hello and welcome to the first meeting of Kubernetes SIG Docs at a time that is convenient for Asia Pacific participants. I'm Zach Corlison. I'm one of the SIG Docs leads, and I suspect this may be either a very small or a very short meeting, or both, until we start gaining more traction from participants. Just by way of background, SIG Docs in our one of our weekly meetings in the last 2 weeks decided to add this time, and publishing it and publicizing its visibility has been very fast work. So I suspect that we will start seeing more folks over time as invitations go out and as folks have more notice.
Hey, Zach. Sorry I'm late.
Hi, Dan. Welcome.
Thank you.
Did
Julia make it?
I have not seen her yet.
Okay. Sorry, please go ahead.
No, it's okay. I'd also like to say hello to Raji, who is one of our reviewers for Kubernetes SIG Docs, and also to Qiming Tang, who's one of our approvers for Kubernetes Docs. So.
Hi, everybody.
Hello.
Right. And I see also that Julia Han has joined us. Julia leads the Chinese localization project for Kubernetes documentation.
Hi, morning, everybody.
Hello.
Hi.
So what I'd like to do in this meeting is just cover some basics, and then have this be an open time for folks to raise any issues that they would like to discuss, and have a chance to ask any questions or start some conversations. So just a reminder that this meeting, like all Kubernetes SIG meetings, follows the CNCF Code of Conduct. There is a link to the CNCF Code of Conduct in the agenda. I would ask that folks speak one at a time, and if you are not speaking, to please mute yourself. It looks like everybody's done that, so great. So for our discussion today, is there, what would folks like to talk about? You can use chat or just speak up.
Yeah, I actually have a question about the Hugo migration, because last week I got an email from Zach, right, saying like the project right now is going pretty well, and it sounds like it's almost ready to like resume the translation process again. So I just want to confirm if it's already in this healthy condition right now, so we can go ahead to continue the translation process.
We are almost there. The 1.11 release has been slow. It was originally scheduled for last Wednesday, but they have slipped the date. So I haven't checked in. Steve, have you gotten a chance to check in with Misty at all about where they are? I know that she was cutting like what looked like the final cut to 1.10, and it looked like they were getting ready to merge the 1.11 PR into master. Do you know if that happens today?
I thought it did. I'll do a little checking right now while we're talking, and maybe I can report back.
So Julia, the answer is that we're very close. If it doesn't happen today, it should happen tomorrow. So I would say that it would be safe to resume on Thursday the 28th.
Okay, 28th. So like it's gonna be like 2 days from now.
Yes.
Okay, sounds good.
Cool. Thank you for being patient. Thank you to all of your team for being patient while we finish the Hugo migration and finish the migration
updates. And because they have been asking about like when we'll be ready to do the work again. So yeah, I'll update with them. No problem.
Great. Thank you, Julia.
Sure.
Other items for discussion or conversation?
Yeah, Zach, this is Raji. I met one person by name Joy, and he goes by the ID Hashfire on GitLab. So he was wondering, he would love to contribute, and I did send an invite to him to join us today. I'm not sure if he'd be able to make it. So what would be the process to introduce new contributors to this meeting? Do we forward an invite or do they get it?
I think forwarding the invitation, I think anyone who is invited to this meeting already can forward it on. So please feel free to invite whom, if there's someone who you think would be a great addition to this meeting, please feel free to add them. It doesn't need to come through me or anyone else. Just please feel free to add anyone who's interested.
Yeah, thank you.
It's exciting to hear about new contributors. That's wonderful.
Yes, last time when I met few folks at the Kubernetes meetup here in Bangalore, they were quite interested in joining our SIG, but their only constraint was the timing. But yeah, thank you. You made it possible now.
Excellent. Other questions, other things that folks would like to discuss? I see Ian Choi. Ian, I want to let you know, to give you an update. So Ian is working on he's working on a different localization of the Kubernetes docs. And Ian, I have a pull request open with the Kubernetes community to get a dedicated repo for your localization. So it's in progress. It's moving slowly, but it is open, and I bumped the PR for review earlier. So hopefully we'll get a repo open for your team soon.
Yeah, thanks for that. And also, I want to update some status in Korean documentation team.
Great.
And then, yeah, we have every meeting once a week. And so last time we decided that new leader is Jun Yi, who is also attending to this meeting. So he will be the main contact to documentation team. And also, I will stay also as a reviewer, although the reviewer election is ongoing today. So there will be 4 reviewer candidates, and we want to elect 2 actual reviewers in Korean team. Those 2 reviewers are actual official reviewers who also contact with Kubernetes documentation team. Other reviewers also will help a lot of translation in Korean. So Jun Lee currently works in Samsung SDS, where the company contributes a lot to Kubernetes. So please welcome him.
Great. Excellent news.
Thank you for introducing Ian. My name is Jun Yi. I'm working for Samsung SDS, and I'm sorry that our company, due to our company's security policy, the video cannot stream by the Zoom. I'm sorry.
It's no worries. Thank you for joining us. Ian and June, when the repository is ready and when you are ready to have dedicated reviewers, I can help you set up the repository properly with an owners file that specifies who it can. We can specify reviewer assignments in the repository itself, and I'm happy to do that work to help you get set up. Jun Yi, if you will let me know your GitHub ID, I can work with you to get you set up as one of the repository owners.
Sure, I want to contact you via Slack.
Great, thank you.
Yeah, and also that one more question that that how about some a kind of some localization guideline for, and not only for Korean people but also some Japanese people or other language people for write some recommendation ways for documentation translation.
Sure. So there is in the documentation. Have you gotten the chance to look at the contributing to the Kubernetes docs?
Mm-hmm.
There is. I'm looking for a link.
Yeah, I've just seen some wiki pages for a Chinese localization team, but yeah.
Okay. I'm not seeing. Let me find there. I know that there is documentation that has localization guidelines, but I'm not finding the link to it. This is the first time that I've looked for it since we migrated to Hugo. So there are some guidelines, but I can't discover them right now. So let me find them, and I will forward. I will make sure that they're discoverable, and I will forward you a link to the documentation, Ian.
Okay, great. Thanks a lot. Oh, yeah. Steve, I shared. Oh, yeah. Yeah, Steve, thanks a lot. Yeah. And also, Julia, thanks a lot. Wow.
Yes, thank you, Steve. All right. Other questions, other things to discuss?
I don't have anything special to discuss, but if anybody just wants to talk about what they're interested in and what they're doing, I'd be interested in hearing that.
This is Dan Kahn. I just wanted to remind folks that we have these 2 CNCF mailing lists we've created. We're not using Google Groups because of the difficulty connecting to them from China. One of them is the K8S Chinese translators, and the other is K8S Japanese translators. And we have about 60 people on that Chinese translators list. So when Hugo goes live, I would ask Zach to go ahead and post there and encourage folks to restart again and begin that effort. And then I'm going to send a kickoff email to this Japanese translators group, because I did meet a number of folks last week in Tokyo who are interested in getting engaged, and ask them to look at beginning a process there.
Dan, is there, I guess I would contact Taylor Wagoner to make sure, to open a translation group or a mailing list for Korean translation as well.
Yeah, that's great. You just need to send her the initial folks who should be on the list.
Okay. Ian and Junyi, would you contact me on Slack, please, and send me your email address so that I can make sure that you are added to the Korean translation mailing list when we open it?
Okay, definitely. Yeah, thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Okay.
I'm just
one thing here, we're going to start. The translation team is composed of 9 members. We've met every week since starting in April. We're waiting for the guidelines for the repo and Hugo migration.
Great. So the Hugo migration is finished. I would recommend just holding off until 1.11 is released, which should be in the next the next 36 hours or so. A lot of the changes. So Kubernetes is on a quarterly release cycle, and when 1.11 is released, that will give you a stable documentation set for at least like the next 90 days. So it's a chance. Yeah, I would just recommend waiting like another day or so before getting started. But that's really the only barrier. I'm working with the Kubernetes community team to get a dedicated Korean translation repository open in the Kubernetes organization on GitHub. And as soon as that is done, I will make sure that you are set up with appropriate permissions to facilitate that work there.
Okay, thank you.
Cheers. Yeah, I like Steve's question about like what are folks interested in, what are folks working on.
Okay, so this is Julia Han from China, and we actually have started the translation, which is the I-18N project from a year ago, actually. It's been a long time. So we're looking forward to the first launch, hopefully, in Shanghai KubeCon in November this year. Yeah, right now we are almost 80% done in the translation process. So it's really exciting to have the project, I mean, resume, yeah, around the end of this week, by the end of this week. Also, we're gonna have the like a third birthday party for the Kubernetes meetup in Beijing and Shanghai, like we did in the last 2 years, this year also. So lots of work going around the Kubernetes project in our Chinese community recently.
When is the birthday party?
It's gonna be in July the 21st in Beijing, and another one the next day, the 22nd in Shanghai.
Great.
Yeah, usually we will have those kind of bigger meetups in Beijing and Shanghai around in the summer to celebrate the project.
That's exciting. So is the 21st and 22nd of July?
Of July, yeah.
Okay, great.
Yeah, so very likely we're gonna see pictures on Twitter from our end.
Excellent. Well, I'm not really sure where to go from here. Maybe this is a good chance to wrap up for this month, and hopefully everyone has a link to the agenda. I think trying to think, I don't always get notifications for requests to be added to the agenda. I guess I will have to work with the agenda owner. That's Jared, I think. Zach will work with Jared to manage agenda invitations. But yes, let's wrap up for this month, and I will work to make sure that the agenda is open for more entries from APAC contributors next month. It was a delight to meet you all. Thank you for taking the time to come and meet with us. I'm so glad to welcome you as contributors to the project. And I look forward to working with you over the coming month, and I'll see you again in 1 month.
See you.
Thank you. See you all. Bye.
Bye.
Bye now.
Thank you all very much. Take care.